So let's see the energy for today. I'm using the clairvoyant reading cards. So this one. And then we'll give it a shuffle and see what comes out. I find it's good sometimes to try. At least I'm trying to do readings every day. So that way, if one reading doesn't resonate, if you catch it another day, maybe this one will. So let's see what comes out. Ooh, so bottom of the deck. You know how I feel about the card at bottom of the deck. So bottom of the deck, we have wisdom. So some of you are gaining in wisdom, gaining in knowledge, right? And it's like they're calling my attention to like these ancient kind of hieroglyphics. Like for some reason, I'm kind of thinking about Egypt. So some of you may have a tie to Egypt, right? Or be very fascinated with that history. And there's a reason, because maybe, you're somebody from, in terms of a past life, I believe in that stuff, that your origins is in Egypt, right? And so in terms of your knowledge is coming from a very deep place. Yeah, so let's shuffle and see what else we get. But that's what I was thinking of. Ooh, you know what? Before I did this reading, I thought to myself, I could feel this card coming out, oneness. And I thought to myself, I wonder if that oneness card is going to come out, because I could just feel it. And then heart, mind, balance. Wow, this is beautiful. Okay, let's shuffle one more time and then see what else we received. So we have two. Ooh, love. All right. And the other thing I was going to say, well, maybe I should do a love reading for May, right? Love and romance in May. And look, the card comes out. You have a love card and you have passion. Wow. All right. So what am I getting? So right away, what I was getting, even before I did the reading in terms of oneness, is this, because I've been getting this message about being very interconnected, right? And that we all are interconnected. Some of us are more connected to others based on like soul tribe, based on past history, right? Things that happened in a past life. And maybe that's where I was going with that. And so, what Spirit is saying is, some of you are already here, right? We're getting that message yesterday, where some of you are already on the right path. Your heart and mind is in balance. So you're thinking very clearly, not just in terms of logically, but also in terms of what's going to make you happy. Thinking in terms of your emotions are balanced, in terms of your heart. And as such, you may be feeling even more connected now with people around you. You may be feeling things more passionately, right? Some of you could also be in love, right? Because that just popped out right away. So, whether that be new love, or somebody has stirred your interest, or there's somebody that you admire, look at him. He's looking at her from behind the tree, so she doesn't know. So somebody may be looking at you from a distance, maybe online, right? Liking what they see, but maybe afraid to approach. And what I'm getting is, because you're feeling this feeling, some of you, you're now kind of like your passion has been awakened, right? Because the other card you received is passion. So, sometimes when you have that new love, or you're falling in love, or, you've discovered just a love of something new, right? That's become a passion. It like awakens your senses in all other areas of your life. All of a sudden, life doesn't seem as dull. You know what I mean? Waking up each day is now a wonderful thing. Now you feel like you're blessed. You have that pep in your step. You're excited to do the same mundane tasks you did the day before, but before you fell in love or found somebody that's piqued your interest, I'm hearing. Now you're feeling this sense of just oneness, and feeling very connected, just within your body, right? Feeling connected to good people around you, feeling connected in terms of with nature, right? That's the energy that I'm picking up here. And it's because your heart and mind is in balance. And if you're not there yet, you are. But I'm strongly picking up a message for people who are now feeling a connection. And so things that may have felt very disconnected, very disparate in the past, right? Like you may have been going through an internal tower. It's like now you're finding that's not the case, because you've worked out. You've been working on yourself. You've been working on your healing. You've been paying attention to just how you feel, your body, and what it is that really brings you happiness. And I'm getting just kind of connecting more deeply with yourself and with your emotions. Some of you may be releasing emotional baggage, right? Doing the work, maybe even getting therapy, right? And as you have done that, you're now starting to feel connected to the whole and not so separate. Wow, this is a powerful message. I always get these And then look at the bottom of the deck. I can't make this up. Messages. Wow. And look, there's a little angel behind the tree. And she's finding these messages. So some of you may be getting channeled messages right now, whether through songs or through your dreams, right? Look at that feather. Some of you may be seeing feathers, particularly white feathers. And so these are messages where, the divine, your guides, your angels, your ancestors are trying to communicate with you and send your messages, or they're channeling, maybe even using things like, mediums or people who do divination like myself to deliver messages for you. So don't be surprised if you just kind of like, in the supermarket somewhere and somebody just comes by and says something and it's like, wow, it's like a message that's coming directly from a passed on loved one, right? So it's that kind of stuff that's happening now. And it could be because we had that 5-5 portal yesterday. And so the energy is very, very strong, especially when it comes to telepathy. So anywho, let's clarify and see what else we receive. So I'm going to use just a regular smuggler. What's my headphones? Tarot deck. And let's clarify oneness. Okay, so here you have 2 of Wands. So 2 of Wands is like making plans, right? Making decisions, It's like, okay, so I'm here, but I kind of feel like there is something else that's calling to me, something that's elsewhere, right? Ooh, okay, I got a really, really strong message. And then here you have the 6 of Swords, but the 6 of Swords is reversed. 6 of Swords, when it's reversed, it can be like needing to leave something, but you're not. You keep going back to the same place. You may feel like, it could even want to visit, like go and visit somebody, right? Or returning home. But what I'm hearing is kind of like returning to self. So maybe, all right, so this is like, these are going to be messages that are very powerful, right? So what I'm hearing is some of you may have been looking out yonder and thinking that your happiness, right? Your joy would be elsewhere, would be looking beyond, where you currently are. So maybe if you're living in one place, you're thinking, man, if I could move to this other place, or get this job, or when I get this perfect relationship, then everything will be wonderful, right? But what you're realizing is that sense of happiness, that sense of wonder is now happening as you have come home to yourself. And that's what I'm saying, that's a very powerful message. So some of you have come home to yourself, hence oneness, and you're realizing, externally, that had nothing to do with how I was feeling inside. I first had to resolve how I was feeling inside. And this is what's now bringing you home, bringing you true happiness. It's not finding it in something else. It's not finding it in someone else. It's finding it within you. 727. Google that number. Some of you may be seeing that Angel Sync. And that's what I'm hearing. So you're no longer feeling this wanderlust. You know what I'm saying? In terms of looking elsewhere for your happiness. You're realizing that starts within me. And let's clarify heart, mind, balance. And that's what I was saying, that some of you, your heart is now connected to your mind. All right, but now this don't make no sense. 5 of Swords. Because 5 of Swords is ugly energy. So, all right, tell me more about this heart, mind, and 5 of Swords. Why is the 5 of Swords here? But I'm getting it's how you were before, right? So maybe there was a time when you didn't want to be vulnerable. You kind of wanted to keep people at a distance. You wanted to kind of keep your emotions bottled up inside. You may have even wanted to deceive yourself. Sometimes we kind of can be that way, where we're telling ourselves, there's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. I don't need to look at myself. I don't need to do a self-examination. 555. Some of you may be seeing that too. I don't need to look at the man or the woman in the mirror, right? And some of you are realizing that, yes, you did. Because here you had the 2 of Pentacles. So you were juggling. You're in a state, a 5 of Pentacles, or feeling left out, feeling without, feeling lacking, right? And it is because your heart and your mind was out of balance. And that's what I'm getting, that now that is coming into balance because you're discovering that I first needed to come within balance within myself. So tell me about love. So yeah, so here some of you are very stressed out. You have the 9 of Swords, right? So it's sleepless nights. You have the 2 of Cups reversed. So maybe in a situation where there wasn't love, right? And again, maybe there's somebody, because remember, it's clarifying this love card, where this person looks like they want to go and pursue somebody and you're watching from a distance, but they don't have that confidence yet to approach this person. But you're discovering that once I do that healing of self, then going and approaching somebody else or expressing how I feel, it's not going to be as intimidating or as scary, because you know what, so what if they say no? You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world. At least you would have made your movement, right? Made a move and give it your best shot. And if it doesn't work out, then so what? I'm still loved, I'm still a whole person and life goes on. So now let's clarify passion. All right, the Sun card. And some of you two are freeing yourselves from a situation that was very restrictive because you have the Hierophant card. So anyway, it's about to cut off.